I think business owners, you concentrate so much on just your business that you end up missing a lot of opportunities because you're not looking outside of your business to other partners that you could possibly.
Just so, these chamber people become our friends, and other business people become our friends. The more people that know you, the more people that are comfortable with you, the more people recommend your business to satisfy them or service them.
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I've got the incredible pleasure of sitting down with John Adams. I literally been looking forward to this for a couple of weeks. Ever since I first met you in the parking lot for that basketball tournament that your other son was putting on, and got to talk to you for a little bit. I was literally mesmerized by your story, and you're just such an engaging person, and I love talking to you. Before we get going, I kind of want to read just a little bit of your bio here, and then we'll kind of get right into your story. I'm going to need my glasses because I'm not a young buck anymore. So high school varsity basketball starter, ASB president. You went to our very own North Idaho College, 2-year player and student body president. Graduated from Montana State University with a bachelor's degree. Served in the Navy for 4 years as an intelligence officer, tracking Russian submarines on a P-3 airplane. That's just fascinating. And by the way, thank you so much for your service. And you returned to Idaho to work at the family business, Coeur d'Alene Tractor, in 1967 with your father, Jack. You've been the president of CVA Tractor and the majority owner now for decades. Empire Airlines board member for decades. The Coeur d'Alene Airport board member, you served that for decades. Coeur d'Alene Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year in 2023. And obviously husband, father, and I'm going to say it, is the pillar in our community and really model for business owners what it means to be very community minded and still running an incredible business. This podcast is about hearing people's stories. And a lot of times the story starts when you're a child or something, but your story, what fascinating is, starts with your grandfather. Would you mind starting there and just telling me about the story you told me earlier?
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting story. My grandfather in 1928 lived in the area of Airway Heights, east of Airway Heights, out on Highway 2. And he had a family of 9 kids, 6 boys and 3 girls.
Wow.
So he was raising fruit, raising hogs, farming. He was loading fruit on a rail car on a siding that was, the best that I can gather, was kind of north and west of Spokane International.
Okay.
It was a private Pullman car. The private Pullman car, as it turns out, belonged to Henry Ford.
And like the Henry Ford.
The Henry.
That's incredible.
They were either going to or coming back from the World Exposition in, I can't remember now, San Francisco or someplace out on the West Coast. And they wanted Thomas Edison there. They didn't care about Henry Ford, but they wanted Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison and Henry Ford and Harry Firestone and a couple of others were travelers. They traveled together. They talked Henry Ford into taking his Pullman car, transporting Thomas Edison to this World Exposition. So my grandfather's loading apples on this car, fruit, and started talking to this kind of a crotchety guy who turned out to be Henry Ford. And Henry Ford, if anybody ever knew him, we never did, but he was very outspoken, kind of a dynamic personality. And anyway, he finally, after listening to my grandfather talk for a little bit, he said, "Mr. Adams," he said, you're not making enough money on your apples. For one thing, I want to tell you that. He said the second thing is you can't sell enough fruit to raise a family of 9. And he said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And this is one of only maybe 2 times that Henry Ford ever got involved with a private party with no franchise fees or anything like that. Henry Ford said, I've got this new tractor, the old Fordson. And he said, I'm going to send you find a place to do business in Spokane, and I will send you 2 tractors. You sell one and you pay for it, I'll send you another one. And that's how Adams Tractor got started in Spokane.
That's crazy.
All 9 of the kids, 6 boys and 3 girls, all rotated through that dealership in Spokane for years and years and years. That was essentially from 1928 on. So we're going to have our 100th anniversary coming up here in just 3 years.
That's amazing.
I'm kind of excited about that.
So Adams Tractor is completely a family business. That goes back generations.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my uncles took it over. Finally, my grandfather, his name was Don Adams Sr. And there was a Don Adams Jr. also. Kind of a funny side story there. When my dad left home, my grandma told me one time, he said, when your dad left home, she says, I cried and cried and cried. When Donald Jr. left home, I helped you pack.
There you go.
But anyway, Donald Jr. did run Adams Tractor after Don Sr. retired. And in 1948, the Ford tractor franchise became available, and my grandfather told my dad, he said, you should go take that franchise and move it to Coeur d'Alene. And another uncle, number 3, Carol, was his name. He went to Walla Walla and did the same thing. That was about 1950. But we came to Coeur d'Alene in 1948. We looked at Spokane for the first year and a half. We traveled back and forth. My parents did daily, where we lived in Spokane up on just off at Hamilton.
Wow.
So we moved to Coeur d'Alene in December of 1950. One of the snowiest winters we'd ever had. And we didn't start school right away because there was so much snow. School didn't start for another almost a month.
Really?
We were out of school for almost a month. So let's see.
So you had the one in did you keep the one in Spokane?
Yeah.
When you opened the Coeur d'Alene? So at that point in time, was there 2 or?
No, we were 3 separate businesses. Spokane was a standalone. Coeur d'Alene was a standalone.
Okay.
Walla Walla was a standalone.
Okay.
So they actually kind of became somewhat of a competitor with the same products that we had. So it made life kind of interesting at Thanksgiving time.
So they were all still family businesses, though, right?
All 3 of them were Adams. Adams brothers.
That probably made Thanksgiving a little interesting.
Yeah, it really did sometimes. But everybody congregated at the ranch out on Airway Heights or out on Highway 2. We were probably out there every other Sunday, if not every Sunday.
Wow.
And so I grew up with 26 cousins, and we've been friends ever since. So that's really kind of the way a big family goes.
Yep. I'm from a big family myself, and it's crazy. We just had our family reunion in Oregon. There was 31 of us in the, like all together. So, and it's crazy, but we might disagree politically or economically or social, whatever it is. But there's something about family that you just kind of like, you might argue,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the day, you're like, you love each other and you just kind of move on. So that's super cool to hear that, man. And so you had Spokane. Was Walla Walla the next location?
Coeur d'Alene and Walla Walla, Coeur d'Alene probably in 1948, Walla Walla in 1950.
Okay. So, you guys came out to Coeur d'Alene, and then you ended up, I remember high school, you played basketball. Where did you play basketball? Was it
Coeur d'Alene High School.
Coeur d'Alene? So, yeah, I mean,
I graduated in 1958.
True Coeur d'Alene guy, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm a Lake City guy, so I'm gonna not hold it too much against you. And then you play for NIC?
Went to North Iowa College after high school and played basketball down there for a couple of years. I was a freshman class president and then the student body president after that. And one of my instructors, Herschel Reedy, by name, I was kind of in an industrial arts and education program, and he talked me into going to Montana State at Bozeman. So that's where I finished up.
Okay, I have to ask because I talked to John, your son, and he said you had a very peculiar shot when you were doing NIC. He was talking about what shot was that? It was like a hook shot or something like that.
Shot.
Come on.
My high school coach was Elmer Jordan. He's kind of a legend here too.
Yeah.
And he always described my game as John can't jump very high, but he sure is slow.
Yeah, that's unfortunate word. That's probably hard. But I think John was telling me one time that you were like, John, that you were like shooting these hook shots from like 15 feet or something like that. And he said, no way, you can't do that, Dad. And you went out there and showed him that you could do that.
And right-handed or left-handed, either way. So
that's awesome.
But basically my job and my other forward's job, Dave Bell, a good friend of mine, our job was to set screens for our 6'7" center, Chuck Lang.
Wow.
So Chuck and I scored 55 points in one game between the two of us. I got 5.
That's awesome. So you went to Montana State, and then you went to, and then did you go right into the military after that?
Well, there was the war going on in Vietnam, and my number was coming up, so I actually joined the Navy at Sandpoint Naval Air Station in Seattle in 1992, and as soon as I graduated, 1993, 3 weeks later, I was in Pensacola, Florida.
Wow.
Aviation Officer Canada School. Had a Marine drill instructor telling me how stupid I was after 5.5 years at college, but that was okay.
See, yeah.
I had an uncle that was a Navy pilot also.
Wow.
One of the youngest brother in the family. And he told me, he said, just when you go down there, this is what's going to happen, and just treat it like a game. This Marine sergeant is going to do everything he can to take you out, but don't worry about it. It's just a game. So I treated it that way and got through fine. I was got my commission as an ensign, and then went to Softwood Field, north of Pensacola, and started flying.
Wow.
But that didn't last very long because they found out I was colorblind, and you're not going to be a Navy pilot and be colorblind. So I was flying. I was about 7 hours into it, and the guy in the back seat said, "We lost our radio. What are you going to do?" I've looked at the tower. Must guess wrong if all the lamp. And we got on the ground. He said, "You got to go see the flight surgeon." That's when they found out I was really colorblind.
Wow.
So I played basketball for about the next month and a half. Drank a lot of beer, and it was about it. Until they gave me a set of orders to Alameda in California, right outside of Oakland. And I went to Air Intelligence School, and then from there, my next set of orders was to Patrol Squadron 19, VP 19, and we were submitters.
Wow.
So I was a briefing officer. My degree from Montana State was education, and I did teach a little bit in Manhattan, Montana. And as I found out, I did a lot of teaching in the Navy. I taught aircraft recognition, taught a lot of different subjects to flight crews and that sort of thing. But my job was to be there 2 hours before the flight and tell them where to go, what to look for, and what to do if they found it. 10 hours later, I came back, find out where they went, what they saw, what did they actually do. Yeah. And then I recorded that information and sent it on up the lines. it was very interesting. And in 5 years, I never got on a boat, which is kind of unusual for a Navy officer, but I got all the flying that I ever wanted. And the P-3 was a nice airplane, and we were based in California, but we'd go to work in the morning in California and be in Hawaii at noon and getting some fuel at Barbers Point and going on to some other small island. So I saw more islands in the Pacific than you could believe. Wake, Midway. I was on Midway for 3 or 4 weeks. Guam, there a lot. And some of our flights, we went to Iwo Jima. So we deployed to ADAC out in the Aleutians. We were there for 9 months, and that was a great circle transit route for Russian submarines from the Kamchatka Peninsula down to our west coast. They were always spying on us, and we could find them, and when we found them, then we'd hand them off to another squadron further down the line, and keep track of them, stay on top of them as long as it took to usher them back to Russia. So it was the Cold War.
Yeah.
We weren't too aggressive, and unless we got too bored, and then we might drop something on them just to keep them awake.
And probably woke them up if they were sleeping.
Yeah. But 9 months in the Aleutian, that was pretty interesting. Back to California, and in the meantime, again, you'd go to work in the morning, you'd be in the airplane going to Guam or someplace else, doing whatever we had to do. And the very last trip I took to Guam was about 2 weeks before I was to get out. And we got on top of a Russian nuclear submarine right off the coast of Guam and stayed on him for, I can't remember how long we were out there now, but it seemed like a long time.
Wow.
About 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. So I just barely made it back to California in time to get out of the Navy. I did have another set of orders to Defense Intelligence Agency in Washington, but it was July. Do you go to Washington, D.C., or do you go to Coeur d'Alene?
Come on.
And Coeur d'Alene was a pretty easy choice. And my dad needed some help.
Yeah.
They were getting up in age, and they needed somebody to come back up.
Yeah, so when did you get back to Coeur d'Alene?
67.
67. Wow.
July on 67.
So, and you went straight to work for the family business. So even though what I'm hearing, you're retired, you're still going in often. Is that correct?
I've cut back to 60 hours a week. No, actually, I'm a little bit unaccountable, but if I go to lunch and don't come back, nobody says it.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, you probably earned that, right?
yeah. But I like to keep track of the financials. I like to keep track of the inventories. So that's kind of my function.
Wow.
And I don't want the middle A's. So I came back in 67, and by middle A's, the business I was the chief cook, bottle washer of it for the business. So Dad had retired. But the middle A's were disaster. Everything went down in the economy.
Oh.
Logging, mining, house building. I can't think of anything that was good. And we came real close to not surviving the middle 80s. So when I came back, when Matt came over, I just want to be here. Hopefully they don't make the same mistakes that I did.
Yeah. So you've been basically back and involved, like you wrote those to 60 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No,
So you had, if I'm hearing right, you had the Spokane store, and then Walla Walla and Coeur d'Alene opened. Were there any other expansions to other Adams Tractor, or what? When did they all come together?
well, we expanded into Bonner's Ferry
Okay.
in about 1976, I think. And it just was an open spot, and it worked for us. It was still in North Idaho. My cousin, by that time, had taken over for his dad, and he was, well, that was before he did that. So one of the brothers was, actually 3 of the brothers were working over there. And so the Spokane store was standalone. The Bonner's Ferry operation was ours. We had a sales guy up there, and my nephew decided to join the company, and we sent him up there. He was about 18 years old, Cal Russell, and he's still there.
Oh, wow.
So he basically took it over at 3 or 4 decades back. But then more recently, we bought Lewiston, the store down in Lewiston. It just became available, and kind of thought that would be a good addition to our fleet of stores. And then my cousin in Spokane, who had taken over for his dads and uncles, called me one day and he said, "I'm tired of doing this, buy me out." So we bought him out. He made us a price we couldn't pass up. So we kind of brought all 5 stores
Wow.
together.
That's kind of cool.
Colville.
Colville is the last one, about a year ago, and that's turning out to be a good acquisition. When I came back, we would sell on a good year maybe 25 tractors, and I think last year we sold 800.
A little over 700.
Yeah, over 700. But we've gotten away from a farm economy in our tractor business anyway,
Yeah.
to more of a homeowner
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, we definitely have so many people move into the area, and a lot of them seem like they want a little bit of land, and now you get 5 acres or something.
Every time they take 100 acres out and they make 25-acre places, every one of them needs a tractor.
Yeah.
So it's just been really good. The people who buy them, it just we sell them a tractor, take their money, and a few days later they come in and they got a plate of cookies for us. So it's just a good deal. Our customers become our friends.
Yeah. Well, I know just as a customer, I bought a mower, a weed whacker. I think I bought a couple of those over the years, and then usually always get it serviced at an abstractor. And I have to say, as a customer, it's just always good. Everyone's always super nice. Everything gets done. I get helped. I don't own 5 acres, but my little parcel of land that I own, I love to do business locally. So and just to hear the story of how it all has come together, that's really cool. One of the things I wanted to talk about with you is just over all of these years, you've been very involved in the community, which I think is just really cool and such a good model for people to follow. What prompted you to get, because obviously you had a lot of stuff going on with the tractor company. How did you find time, and why did you put a priority on getting involved in the community?
Oh, I don't know if I actually put a priority on it, but it just they ask you to do something, and you just find time to go do it.
Yeah.
Been part of the community, virtually my whole life.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of people. The Chamber of Commerce is just a good activity.
Yeah.
It's better probably now than it used to be, because we used to call it the Downtown Chamber, and we were out north of the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
And so we started our own Sunset Heights Commercial Club. I was president of that too for a while. So, and it was just the business owners that were in north of the freeway.
Okay.
And on Appleway and on out Government Way. So that was kind of fun too.
And is that still going on, or did it?
They've kind of the Downtown Chamber turned over a new leaf and made us part of the community too.
Well, there you go. Yeah, the chamber is obviously, it's a great place to just meet other business owners and get get involved in the community and just kind of see what's going on in the community. There's a lot of stuff happening here in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
So you came back in Coeur d'Alene in the 60s or late, 67. What was Coeur d'Alene like back then? There's just so many people that have moved in. I mean, a lot of people don't realize what things were like. I was born in 70, but I've been here all my life, and it's changed drastically for me. But I mean, for someone that's been here since 67 and an adult in 67, you've probably seen a lot of changes.
A lot more people, and it's just and I can't, I can't, what's the word I'm looking for? People want to live here, and ever since I was a little kid, I've heard the saying, we got to put a gate at the state line. There's too many people coming this way. I've heard that same thing time after time after time, but they've got as much right to be here as well.
Oh, and why wouldn't they want to come? This place is paradise. It's beautiful.
It was just, having lived in California for a few years while I was in the squadron, VP 19, this was a place to raise the kids. I'm not down there.
That's exactly why my wife and I moved back. I grew up here. My wife grew up here. We actually did it a little bit backwards. We got married before we finished college, but we finished college over in Seattle, and we hadn't started a family yet, but we couldn't think of a better place to raise a family than Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And so we came back right after school, and we've never left, nor do we plan on leaving. It's a great place.
So there's obviously a lot more traffic than there used to be, but it's still a great community.
Yeah, definitely. So, if I remember right, there's something happening with the Spokane location. The address record in Spokane, is it moving? Are you doing something different with that, or what's going on with there?
Yeah, the buildings and the acreage that we have in Spokane, the company has been there for 80 years, and the shop is separated by about 300 feet from a main building. It's not efficient. It's also not in a good neighborhood anymore. Don't want to cast any aspirations, but the Union Gospel Mission is right down the street. It attracts a different group.
Yeah.
And we've been broken into, robbed any number of times just since we took it over. And so we just thought it was... Then my cousin who owned the buildings, we're renting from him, decided he was going to sell the buildings, and we couldn't get together on the price, so we decided we'll find a new location. So we were moving out on Highway 2, ironically less than a mile from a family farm.
That's amazing.
Which is not there anymore.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool.
But we've kind of gone full circle.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So we're about less than a quarter of a mile west of the Longhorn Barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
The road, that's where that is.
Yeah.
And we're on the same side of the street, and we have 9 acres instead of 2 acres. So we can really enjoy that extra elbow room.
So when is there a grand opening plan, or when does that look like that's going to be done?
We think we will be in the building sometime in early 2026.
Wow. So that's coming right along.
Close to that. But we're going through the permitting process right now, and we've hired a local contractor from Staincraft Construction to be our general contractor.
Yeah.
And we're just really excited about it.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's cool how the businesses have now all come under one roof, basically. And then the one you're expanding to is like right by your family farm. That's really cool how everything's kind of coming together with that little circle. Yeah. And now, just kind of switching directions a little bit. I mean, you've been in business so long in Coeur d'Alene and have seen so much happen. If there were advice that you could give like a younger business owner or someone just trying to, build something up, is there bits of advice that you would have, or something, words of wisdom that you'd want to share?
I think watch your debt load. Number one, keep your debt load under control. And having said that, we're just in the process of some more multi-million dollars and decrease our debt load, but have a good banking relationship. And I would recommend local owned banks rather than great huge banks.
Yeah, that's good words.
Based in San Francisco or some other place that doesn't have a feel for the temperature of the neighborhood. So watch when you trust bank. You don't mind me mentioning that they've been a good partner for us.
Yeah, they've got a good reputation.
Yeah.
Can you just share what's been over the last 60 years at Adams Tractor? I know you shared some difficult times in the 80s. Is there anything that stands out that was just like, oh my goodness, this was just a really tough lesson that I had to learn or that I had to overcome or something like that? Does your mind go to one place that was just like, oh, this was a really tough deal or a lesson I had to learn the hard way?
Yeah. Well, I think the middle 80s was the one.
Yeah.
Watch the economy and make your adjustments. Watch your inventories. And that's probably why I'm so involved with our inventories, because you can get loaded up and at some point in time you can't send it back.
Yeah.
They're going to want to get paid for it. So it's not, and be involved. Be involved with your employees, be involved with your community, be involved with your professional associations. I kind of got distracted by being in the aviation part of the military. I just had this love of airplanes, so I came back to Coeur d'Alene and I got on the airport board.
Yeah.
Then I stayed there for 29 years, which I don't think I'd recommend doing. I mean, I kept track. I worked for 18 different county commissioners because they're the ones that administer the airport. And every one of them needed to be educated. And that's where my education credentials kind of came into play, because we educated them on the value of the airport. And I still, to this day, if a community doesn't have an airport, they're going to get passed by. Kind of like in the 20s or 30s, 1920s, 1930s, you didn't have a railroad, then we're going to get passed by as a community. But I think staying involved with your community and knowing the people that are getting things done is really important. My dad was appointed to the city council. Somebody left or whatever, but so he was appointed, never did run, but he spent several years on the city council. And he told the city council of when they started putting Interstate 90, the freeway through, he said, you need to put multiple sleeves underneath that freeway before they pave it over. And they kind of hem-hawed and laughed and said, nothing's ever going to happen out that north of that freeway. Well, they finally agreed to do it. And those two manholes are directly behind Coeur d'Alene Tractor on the freeway side of the fence right now.
Really?
So in his wisdom, he had a construction background too. He worked as a cat driver at Cooley Dam when they were building Cooley Dam in the early 30s. But he had a construction background, and he knew that the drainage from Hayden Lake basically came right through the property that we're on and ended up down the Spokane River. But he said that if there was development, he said, you're not going to have any place to take your storm water or your sewer water out of here, so you need to sleeve it. Fortunately, they did.
Yeah, good thing. It's a good thing. It's definitely growing north of the freeway. That's big dirt.
Yeah.
Good. So I just heard, and get involved in your community and businesses with mentors, with other business leaders. I think that's very good words, because I think oftentimes I think business owners you concentrate so much on just your business that you end up missing a lot of opportunities because you're not looking outside of your business to other partners that you could possibly have.
So these chamber people become our friends, and other business people become our friends. The more people that know you, the more people that are comfortable with you, the more they will recommend your business to satisfy them or service them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a lot of those things. And it's also on the North American Equipment Dealers Association for quite a number of years. And we pushed through a lot of dealer protection legislation in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. So that was also really good to see how other dealers with other colored equipment, not necessarily what we were selling, but competitors. It was really important to get to know them on a personal level, as well as a business level. So
you had mentioned you're 3 years away from your 100th anniversary. Are you starting to make plans for are you going to do is Adam's Tractor going to do something big, or what's going on, or how are you going to celebrate the 100 years?
I just want to be here.
I have a funny feeling you're going to be here.
I see my daughter, right?
My guess is you're probably going to be the organizer of the big celebration.
So there's another side story, but my dad lived down the street from me. We live over in the Fairway Hills area, and he called me when he was 95 years old, living in his own home by himself. He said, "I want to go down and get my driver's license renewed." And I thought, boy. So I thought, well, I'll take him down and we'll see what happens. I took him down and it took 20 minutes and $42, and they renewed his driver's license for 4 more years.
At 95?
At 96. His driver's license, it says born 1910, driver's license expires in 2010. And he did too. He finally passed away, but he was over 100 years old.
Wow.
I'm going for 104, 105.
Come on.
Don't set your goals too
low. Don't set them low. Keep the goals high.
Keep the goals high.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I've really enjoyed just sitting down and talking with you, hearing the story, just getting the chance to spend a little bit of time with honestly what I believe is a pillar of our community. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
That's overstated. But
I don't think so. You have such a good reputation around. People know the Adams name, and you're just good folks. And I appreciate you as a community member. Just set some standards for us to follow. So thanks for joining me, man. I don't know much about this podcasting thing, but I'm trying to learn, and it's kind of a selfish way for me to get the chance to sit down with some really cool people. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Loved it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. And man, if you like this, send this to somebody that you know, maybe comment on it. Tell us what your thoughts are. And man, if you get a chance, you need a mower, a weed whacker, any kind of lawn tools whatsoever, and need something fixed, go down to Adam's Tractor. They will take care of you. I promise. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.